He walked into the casino wearing a $12 hoodie, carrying a brown paper bag, and left with $14 million in chips. But the real shock? The casino never meant to let him win. It all started with a fake ID, a janitor's uniform, and a USB stick loaded with something no one should have access to, a secret exploit written by a disgraced former casino software engineer. This wasn't just a gamble. It was the beginning of the most dangerous casino hack ever pulled off in real life. No one knew who he was. The cameras didn't catch his real face. His fingerprints didn't match any records. Even the staff thought he was just another maintenance guy fixing a wiring issue behind the slots. But this guy, let's call him Ray. Ray wasn't here to gamble. He wasn't a drunk tourist, he wasn't rich. He wasn't even supposed to be inside the casino at all. He was here for a job, a heist, and he had exactly 11 minutes to pull it off. The casino's slot machines looked like any other. Bright lights, spinning wheels, catchy jingles. But behind the glitter was a digital brain, a predictable algorithm running a specific version of firmware. What 99.9999% of people didn't know was that one of the machines had a vulnerability, a small bug hidden in millions of lines of code. Ray didn't find the bug. That honor went to a former casino programmer named Dimitri, who had worked on slot machine firmware in 2012. Fired for skimming, Dimitri had been on the run for a decade. But before he disappeared, he coded a backdoor just in case. Ray bought the code on the dark web for 1.7 Bitcoin. He didn't even know if it would work until that night. Dressed in his janitor outfit, Ray plugged a small USB stick into the diagnostic port behind a slot machine near the end of the floor. The machine blinked once, nothing happened. Or so it seemed. Behind the scenes, the exploit rewrote just enough of the logic to force a payout every fourth spin, if you bet exactly $3.75. Ray knew the timing. He'd practiced for 3 months on a replica machine in a warehouse. Spin 1, nothing. Spin 2, nothing. Spin 3, still nothing. Spin 4, jackpot $500. He acted shocked. Threw his arms up, security watched. Tourists clapped, it looked legit. Ray cashed out, then moved to another machine on the same row. Lined it up, did it again. Within 9 minutes, he had hit 7 jackpots. Over $180,000 in winnings. Then he switched uniforms. Ray disappeared into a restroom stall and came out wearing a completely different outfit, designer jeans, shades, and a black leather jacket. He looked like a high roller now, and he headed straight to the roulette table. He bought in with $100,000 in cash. All of it came from his jackpot wins. That's when the casino's facial recognition system pinged. Something was off. This guy hadn't entered through the front. He wasn't on record, no ID scanned. And he was already moving millions. Security started watching, but not fast enough. Ray placed his chips, $5,000 on red, won $10,000 on odd, won $20,000 on second column, won again. 3 wins in a row. Probability, around 3.7%. Now he was up to $500,000. The pit boss raised an eyebrow. A staff member whispered something into his earpiece. That's when Ray made his real move. He asked for a private table. Now this is where it gets wild. Inside the private high roller room, there are no cameras. That's how the ultra-rich like it. You play big, you lose big, but you do it without the eyes of a crowd. Ray asked for 1 spin, just 1. He placed all his chips on a single number, 17 black. The staff hesitated. That's a $14 million bet. The casino manager got involved. Called down from his office, sweating. They'd never seen a $14 million bet on a single spin in years. Ray didn't flinch. The croupier spun the wheel. 17 black. The room went silent. 14 million became 504 million in chips. The table was frozen. The manager tried to call upstairs. Phones didn't work. Then alarms sounded. Ray calmly said, cash me out. Security didn't move at first. No one knew what to do. $500 million had just been won in a private room with no cameras. The system hadn't even flagged the spin as abnormal. It looked clean, legit, perfectly random, but it wasn't. Upstairs, panic broke out. Internal systems showed no anomalies, no fraud alerts. But the pit boss, who had been watching Ray closely, made the call. Something's wrong. Lock the floor. Ray didn't panic. He smiled and leaned in, almost whispering to the manager. You've got about 6 minutes before this place hits the news. What the hell are you talking about? The manager asked. Ray held up his phone. It was live streaming the entire event to a private Telegram channel. Thousands were watching. More than half were anonymous crypto wallets. If I don't walk out of here in 5 minutes, the second half of this stream goes public. What second half? The part where I show exactly how your machines are rigged. Let's rewind a second. The software Ray used wasn't just a payout exploit. It was a listening tool. Over the past 72 hours, it had been quietly siphoning data from 5 slot machines, 1 roulette table, and most importantly, the casino's internal database access points. It had picked up access credentials, system uptime, betting logs, and even employee login patterns. Ray wasn't just hacking a machine. He was exposing the entire infrastructure of a billion-dollar casino empire. And that wasn't even the twist. The twist came in the form of a phone call. Just as the casino manager was about to grant Ray's payout, or at least stall him, a private encrypted line rang on his desk. Only 4 people in the building even had that number. He answered. The voice on the other side wasn't from security, or legal, or even the CEO. It was from one of the owners, a shadow investor, a billionaire known only by his initials, GV. "Let him go," GV said coldly. "Sir, he just walked off with, I said let him go, and give him the money." "But he hacked us." "No, we hacked ourselves, he just proved it. Now pay him before this whole thing unravels." Ray smirked. He knew the voice. He had been waiting for this exact moment. Because GV, he wasn't just an investor. He was the man who sold Ray the exploit in the first place. Ray left through the back hallway, escorted by 2 security guards who weren't really guards. They were freelancers, crypto-paid, anonymous. They guided him to a private elevator down to a service tunnel that connected to the resort next door. Outside, a black SUV waited. It didn't have plates. Ray stepped in, handed over a duffel bag full of poker chips, and said one word, "Moscow." The driver nodded. Within 12 minutes, Ray was in the air, on a private jet paid for entirely in Monero. Ray never intended to keep the money, at least not all of it. A few days later, a blockchain transaction moved $112 million to 5 separate wallets, all linked to charities, political activists, and offshore whistleblowers. Ray kept just enough to disappear. But the real prize, the data. He had exposed a dirty secret about casino software. It wasn't just vulnerable, it was rigged from the start. Manipulated payout rates, AI-driven loss prediction, surveillance tools that profiled players and adjusted odds on the fly, all hidden behind random number generators. Ray didn't steal money, he stole proof. And that proof was now circulating on darknet forums under a single title, "The House Always Cheats." Within days, news agencies picked up the story. The casino denied everything. But screenshots, code snippets, and secret emails started surfacing. Multiple governments launched investigations. Gambling regulators scrambled. 2 major casino tech suppliers saw their stocks crash 41% in one day, but no one could find Ray. Interpol issued a red notice. They searched 6 countries. Raided an apartment in Dubai, froze wallets. Questioned Dmitry, who had been hiding in South Africa. Nothing. Ray had vanished. Some said he was in Argentina. Others said he'd joined a crypto cult in the Himalayas. One rumor even claimed he'd become head of security for a rival casino chain. But no one knew for sure. 1 year later, a man in a hoodie entered a small casino in Malta. He carried a brown paper bag and sat at a forgotten machine in the corner. It was broken, or so it said. He plugged something into the back panel. Waited, the lights flickered. He smiled. "Let's play again." "If you were the casino, what would you do? Pay the man or call the cops? And what would you do if you had that exploit? Play the game or expose the system? Smash that like button if this blew your mind. Subscribe for more insane true stories from the darkest corners of the internet. And drop a comment with one word: reset. Because in this game, the odds just changed.
After the Malta sighting, casinos worldwide did something unprecedented. They shut down hundreds of machines for emergency firmware updates. Slot floors in Vegas, Monaco, Macau, and Singapore all flickered dark at once, like the system itself had taken a breath. But the paranoia didn't stop there. Casino security chiefs held emergency summits in underground hotel ballrooms. Engineers from slot machine manufacturers were pulled into private rooms and interrogated for hours. CEOs demanded answers they weren't ready to hear. Turns out Ray had only scratched the surface. His exploit worked on one version, but insiders now feared there were dozens of versions, each with different vulnerabilities. This wasn't about one man stealing millions. It was about trust being broken in an industry built entirely on it. The gamblers trusted the machines. The machines trusted the software. The software trusted the code. And the code? It was written by men with prices. Let's zoom out. Ray wasn't just some rogue hacker. Multiple clues pointed to a far deeper background. He spoke fluent Russian and Arabic. He used encryption methods only seen in military cyber units. His dark web profile once posted a line of JavaScript that matched code from a leaked NSA toolkit. Some believe Ray was ex-intelligence. Others say he was a ghost coder for a rival casino empire. A few even claim he was part of a global syndicate trying to bring gambling systems to their knees. But the truth? Maybe Ray wasn't one person. Maybe he was a project, a code name, a virus with a face. And then came the copycats. Within 6 months, 14 other casinos reported unusual jackpot runs. One man in Korea won 9 consecutive spins. A woman in Canada walked out with 6.3 million, then disappeared. In South Africa, 2 machines exploded after someone bypassed the power surge protection. Each time, the signature was similar. Entry through staff back doors. No facial ID trace. Temporary system blind spots. Clean escape. No follow-up trace. It became known as the Ray effect. A myth, a fear, a warning. Casinos didn't talk about it publicly, but behind closed doors they had one standing order. If a machine pays too often, kill the floor. This wasn't just a story about hacking. It was a parable about control. Casinos were once seen as unbeatable systems. They mastered psychology, probability, and surveillance. Every angle was covered, every outcome predictable. But Ray flipped the script. He made the system doubt itself. He made the house feel like a player. In a world obsessed with controlling outcomes, stock markets, elections, social media feeds, Ray reminded everyone of a bitter truth. When you rig everything, all it takes is one glitch to bring it all down. People still debate it. Some say this was all an urban legend cooked up by cyberpunk forums. Others say they've seen the leaked code themselves. A few swear they met Ray at a poker table in Lisbon, or Bali, or Argentina. But here's what we do know. The story never died. It spread like wildfire. Reddit, YouTube, 4chan, Telegram. It became a digital campfire tale in hacker communities. Gamblers started looking suspiciously at every payout. Tech giants began re-auditing slot firmware. Even governments started regulating random number generators for the first time in decades. One story, one man. One spin. It changed the industry forever. 6 months after Malta, a secure blockchain wallet, one that hadn't been touched in years, suddenly moved. Transaction hash 0xDeadB33F. 17 black amount 17,000 BTC. Memo field. House reset. New game begins, then silence. You've just heard the craziest casino story on the internet. But now ask yourself, if you had the key to beat the system, would you use it? Would you take the money or take the truth? Comment your answer below. Nas, take the money. Expose the system. And if you want more wild stories like this one, from the dark side of tech, money, and control, hit that subscribe, smash the like, and turn on the bell. Because next time, we're going into the world of AI cheating in online poker rooms. And trust me, that story is even more dangerous.